Over at Boyd's shop, Boyd, what are you working on here? What is this?
This is my 1960 Corvette that I bought in 1968. About 10 years ago I started seeing old Corvettes that had modern chassis underneath them, and I decided it was time to make a change on my Corvette. So paid a whopping $800 for the car and drove it home from Dayton, Ohio.
And this is a 60 model.
1960, correct. All the parts, it's down to pretty much a basic body only right now. That we spent the last 2 months stripping. Doors are off, hood's off, interior's out of it, trunk, deck lid. I bought a custom chassis, a C4 component chassis from a man in Pennsylvania. Should I take the cover off?
Yeah, we'll get to all that.
We'll get to all that later.
Yeah. So is this the first time you restored it?
To this extent, yes. I have had it painted 3 times before. I painted right after I got it.
And it was white when you got it?
It was maroon when I got it, but it had been painted. It had a 1958 hood on it that had about 6 coats of paint on it.
The original color was white?
The original color of this car was red, as you can see from the dash. It was maroon when I got it.
Red to maroon.
Red to maroon, and then I had it painted a deep silver, antique pewter is what it was called. And then it was painted white, and now it's going to be painted white again.
And how much effort has it been to get all of that paint off? That's 5 or 6 coats of paint.
It was a labor of love.
Is that what you call it now?
Called now labor.
We don't call that on the show. We call that something else.
Stupidity, possibly.
Maybe.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah. You had to motherfucker it a bit.
Yeah, we did a lot of that. Used a liquid stripper on it that a Corvette specialty store recommended, and it worked rather well. But there's still a lot of work involved in stripping paint off it.
So how many weeks or months are you into this project so far?
Drove it in here in November, early November.
Yeah.
And have been working on it since. All the chrome came off of it first, the interior came out of it, engine came out of it, frame came off of it, or it came off the frame. And started stripping and finding various cracks and stress cracks, places that needed repair.
You find out anything you didn't previously know about this car, since you've pretty much taken it completely apart for the first time?
No. Probably in 70, 71, I had more engine in it than it should have had in it, and I had a clutch explode and came through the firewall and tore the firewall out and cracked both front fenders. I thought it was totaled. A friend of mine was in the body business and said we could fix it, and he put it back together and had it back on the road in 6 weeks, but I had to repair it. It was a quick repair back then just to put it back on the road, and we redid all that former damage and replaced a lot of parts.
So are you like 60% of the way done, 80% of the way? I know these projects, the last 10% seems to come together pretty quickly, but.
Right. I'm thinking we're probably 50, 60% now. All the paint's off of it. It's ready. Parts have gone to the body shop now to get painted.
And what's the color you're going to be painting it called?
Ermine White is a 1960 Corvette color. That's what it was before. And the gentleman that's painted it in 1985. It's the last time it was painted. And the last 10 years I've been trying to talk him into painting again, and he refused to paint whole cars again. Saw it at a car show and said it's got enough nicks in it, it's time to get painted one more time. I'll paint it for you one more time. So that's why it's gone down this far.
And you have elected, as we've just talked about previously, you're going to keep the little Corvette spears or whatever they're called on the side. You're going to paint those body color too.
The coves on the side, part of the fender and the door has a cove in the side of that'll all be white, yes, with chrome trim around the whole cove. And chrome spears, 3 chrome spears on each cove.
Look at that pretty little girl.
Went to Cars and Parts 3 years ago and saw a couple chassis. A gentleman in Pennsylvania had a 1958 Corvette that he wanted to update, so he started making chassis. And he uses all C4 components: rear end, brakes, front steering, springs, shocks, everything. And all the body mounts are the same as the original 1960 Corvette GM chassis. I've had the body sitting on it 4 times. I'll probably have it on there twice more before the body goes on to get painted. I took the engine as a 283 solid lifter, 4-barrel.
This isn't the original engine, but it's a 60 engine.
1960 engine, yes.
Okay.
The original engine had a crack in the web, so I had to replace it. That's when I built the engine up and made a street racer out of it. We took that engine out and put it in a 48 Angler. We were drag racing, and I found another 1960 Chevrolet block, and went to the local Chevrolet dealer, bought pistons, camshaft. I had a dual 4 intake on it for a while, but it didn't perform like I liked it to. So I got a late model intake manifold in a Holley 4-barrel, and runs like a top.
So are you calling this sort of a resto mod?
That's what they call me.
Obviously, we've gotten past the point of originality here.
Originality's gone.
Yeah.
It was time to be able to have a good time driving it, being able to stop and turn and ride that.
Did the original car have drums or discs?
Drums.
Okay. When did they start putting discs on Corvettes?
65.
Okay.
A few 64s, and in 63, a couple of racers had disc brakes.
On front and rear?
Front and rear,
Yeah.
yes. Putting C2 side pipe, chambered exhaust pipes on it for the mufflers. They'll run off the headers and out the back.
And that's what's kind of running through the chassis here?
Right, that's running through the chassis now. The original tailpipes came out the bumper. And rather than do that, they'll now come out the middle in the back.
And you call that a little Boyd special modification there?
Well, it's kind of a Boyd modification, but kind of a easier to do than try to run it through the body or through the bumpers again. You know, it's stainless steel brake lines, stainless steel gas line, rack and pinion steering. It'll be power steering, power brakes.
I mean, it's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in 1960, it had no power at all except the engine. No power brakes, no power steering, nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so is this like, so when you order one of these chassis, is it like, hey, I just open a catalog and it's just mail order, send me this, and then they just show up at the door one day?
Pretty much. He had this chassis with him at Cars and Parts in Springfield last fall. And I got a show special on it, and he's able to drop it off here rather than me picking it up. So I'm going to have to pay transportation charges on it.
Yeah. And these are just, these tires.
These tires, it comes without wheels and tires.
Yeah, these are just sort of
These are
sitting here
just
just to
get it around and
yeah.
keep it up off the ground.
Yeah, you haven't picked out your rims yet.
Haven't picked out rims. I know basically what I want, but
Well, I know what I want. I told you that. I want black rims.
black rims.
Yeah.
And that's
Maybe with a chrome lip or something.
Right, and that's not out yet, but an old American wheel type chrome wheel or brushed aluminum would be nice.
Yeah.
I'll probably have 19s on the back, 18s on the front. I'll have to go to 9.5-inch wide wheels. The 10s won't fit because the 10-inch tires hit the body in the back.
Yeah.
And I don't want them sticking out past the fenders.
How many hours of sanding have you put into this body?
Hundreds. literally hundreds of hours.
I mean, at some point, you've got to feel like you're never getting to the end.
The body is as close as I can get until the painter comes and says you got to do this, this, and this. And this I could work on probably for another 2 weeks because I'm just doing little stuff that'll never be seen. You'll never be able to see any of this that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Because it's all under the, I mean, the battery sits here and a heater box comes out here, and but this was all torn up when I had to replace all this because that's what all got exploded when I blew the clutch and pressure plate.
That's a problem.
out. So.
The Western guy in the passenger seat broke his ankle.
Yep. Bent the steering column. Piece of it came out the driver's side. It just destroyed all this. The fender was up about this high on both sides. It was a hell of a crash, hell of a boom, let me tell you.
Is the inside of the engine bay going to be the same color as the car?
No, I'll probably paint it black.
Is that how they would have done it back
Yeah,
in
that's how they
60?
were back in 60.
Yeah.
This might have been painted white, but all this was black.
Yeah.
This is called wet sanding for all you that don't know what wet sanding is.
Well, I know what it is. I just don't do it.
Yeah, this is the hard part. And the whole car's been wet sanded.
What are you using? Like 2,000-3,000 grit?
No, this is 180
180.
because I'm taking off a lot of the primer.
Okay, you're still taking stuff
Yeah, I'm
off.
still taking stuff off. The final sand will be with 400 after I get the primer on it. After it's all primered, then it'll have to be done with 400. And then it'll be painted. So.
Now, when all this, like all the exterior stuff gets put back on, your lights, your fogs, your fenders, and all, is all that stuff going to be basically stock as it was, or are you adding any sort of special touches?
I'll get the bumpers re-chromed, and the grill tooth that goes in here will be re-chromed. Stainless steel, I'll just polish the stainless steel because it's all in good shape. It just needs cleaned up. I want the car to look completely stock from the outside. The only thing you'll notice is different wheels, bigger wheels on it.
Yeah.
So the 15s, I have to go to bigger wheels to cover the calipers and rotors on the new chassis.
Okay, so if someone out there was looking for a 60 Corvette or an early C2 Corvette,
C1.
C1, yeah.
Yeah.
These are the C1 starting in 63 or C2s in 63.
63, 67 are C2s. 53 to 62 are C1s.
Okay, so if someone like if you said the hell with it and you didn't want to do this and you had the car the way it was, I mean, what are these things worth? Just like as is, like a body shell of an early C1 Corvette.
When I drove it in here,
Yeah.
it was probably worth in the neighborhood of $60,000 to $80,000.
But I mean, it was running, and you know.
Yeah, it was all running. It was,
Yeah.
I can show you pictures of what it looked like.
Yeah, so we've taken it
It
apart
looked
here.
like the same thing it was when I took it to Mississippi 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So the stock Corvettes are going for anywhere from 60 to 80,000. Was it Meekum that or Barrett Jackson just had a resto mod 58 Corvette that sold for in excess of 400,000?
So I mean, even the worst case C1 Corvette, I mean the absolute.
Basket case.
Yeah.
You've got to do everything.
It's at least a $50,000 day.
You may be able to pick one up that's going to not have any chrome on it and not have an engine in it for 20.
Yeah.
But to have one that's driving, you're looking at 50.
Yeah. And then from 50, it's from 50 to 400.
Right.
Just depending on how far you want to take it and how
far
much
you
money
wanna-
you'll spend.
Right, what you want to do to it.
Yeah.
Sitting just like it sits right now, it's probably a $15,000 piece stripped down.
Just the fiberglass.
Just the fiberglass, right.
So if you're starting at 60 or 70 with a running car,
Right,
you basically pulled it back down to its bones.
right,
You've got the chassis.
right,
Okay, you know what my next question is.
right.
How's the math working out here?
Fortunately, I bought this car in 1968 and paid $800 for it, so I don't have that major investment that you'd have to have today of at least $50,000 to start.
Yeah.
And if you could buy, let's say you bought an $80,000 Corvette C1 that had been painted, had a good interior in it, and just lifted it off and put it on a new chassis, you're probably going to, I'm guess, spend anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 to do that, depending on what else you had to do when you took the body off, what you found. I mean, wiring harness is $1,000, and I'm putting a new wiring harness in it.
Yeah, you said some of the dashboard stuff is not inexpensive either.
$400. You know, you got, hell, the seat frames themselves sell for $400 a piece. So it could be an expensive proposition if you didn't have one to start with, and it depends on how long you had it, if you did it. I have a friend that's got a 1959 Corvette that's had it for quite a while. He's putting it back to stock, and he told me that when he gets it all done, it's a dual 4 car, but he said he hopes it's worth $55,000, $60,000 tops, and he's redone the whole car. It's a body off, but he put the stock chassis back on it. And I considered doing that, but if I'm on all this work, I want a chassis I can
actually drive.
Right.
Yeah. And my guess is you're probably, by doing that, you're gonna drive it a lot more than you probably ever did anyways.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll be more fun to drive.
Yeah. So how many days till you're gonna take this over and get the body painted?
That's up to him. I'm hoping in maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah. As soon as you finish the little patch up there in the front.
He's gonna come over and fix the patch over here.
Yeah.
And then take it over there, and he'll have it till it's done.
Yeah. That's when you actually feel like, man, it's starting to come together now, you know?
Then I can put parts on it.
Yeah, you spent months just looking at it like this, and you feel like you haven't made any progress. But
I can't wait to see a door painted.
Yeah. Yeah.
See something white.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back when it starts getting painted, and we'll take a look at it, and
You think you'll paint that door this weekend?
we'll check in on the progress.
I do too.
The 60 Corvette Boyd's episode number 1. Yeah, we'll come back and we'll take a look at it once. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah. So we will. We're good.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. We'll take the 60 Corvette to the paint shop. We'll get some paint on it. We'll come back. We'll take a look at it and see what the progress looks like from there. And then, how many days or weeks after it's completely painted will go on the chassis?
As soon as it gets back, it'll go on the chassis.
Yeah. Yeah.
It won't sit on this after we get it back.
You're ready to start putting the Legos together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, it'll be
Cool.
forward to the chassis when it comes back.
Okay. We'll come back and take a look at it. Until then.